If you're just about to start watching F1 in 2026, you're already late. The door is that way, don't let it hit you on the way out. On the contrary, this is actually the perfect time to jump in. I mean, I've seen some of these new car boosts, and I wouldn't be shocked if a car goes Super Saiyan 2 next year. And that's not all. We've got new regulators, new tracks, new teams, new memes. So buckle up. I'm about to cram everything you need to know into this little video, and I'll keep it as simple as possible. F1 in recent years has basically been 20 drivers going in circles, hoping to be fast enough to cross the checkered flag first. And when I say hope, I don't mean 100% hope. It's more like 30% car, 30% strategy, 30% driver, and 10% luck. Unless it's Ferrari. Then it's 100% hope. But 2026 is shaking things up. We'll have 22 drivers instead of 20, which means one thing: more crashes than you've ever seen before. If Formula 1 had a popularity contest right now, McLaren would probably win it by a comfortable margin. Over the last decade, the team has reinvented itself from a struggling former giant into the cool, social media savvy squad that somehow manages to feel both competitive and approachable at the same time, especially because their drivers look like they'd happily join your dating session after qualifying. Fact is, McLaren has nailed the fan-friendly vibe. Behind the scenes, though, CEO Zach Brown and team principal Andrea Stella have quietly rebuilt the team piece by piece. This resulted in back-to-back Constructors' Championships and a team that now walks into every season expecting to fight for wins rather than hoping for miracles. At the center of it all is Lando Norris, now fully stepping into his role as championship material. Rather than just a talented kid everyone liked or hated, Norris has grown with the team and now looks ready to carry McLaren's title hopes again. But Oscar Piastri isn't just there to clap politely from the other side of the garage. The Australian has shown he can win races and apply pressure, and if Norris slips even slightly, Piastri will be right there to capitalize. McLaren might have the fastest car, but it also has one of the most competitive teammate rivalries brewing. Their biggest enemy is pressure. Last season showed that when things get tense, mistakes can creep in. But if McLaren tidies that up, they head into the new season as the team everyone else is chasing. Mercedes' story lately feels like the sports equivalent of a champion boxer trying to reclaim the belt after a few rough fights. From 2014 to 2021, they practically owned Formula 1, collecting titles like Thanos collecting the Infinity Stones. Then the regulations changed, and suddenly, the unbeatable machine started stumbling. For the past few seasons, Mercedes kept promising they were about to return to dominance, only to find themselves still fighting midfield traffic, while Red Bull and McLaren stole the spotlight. But 2026 brings new rules and, more importantly, a fresh opportunity to reset the order. Toto Wolff still runs the show with his trademark mix of corporate polish and emotional radio messages, and the belief inside the team is that they finally have a genuine shot at climbing back to the top. George Russell now steps firmly into team leader territory at Mercedes. After years of patiently waiting behind Hamilton, George finally gets to be the main guy, which means more responsibility when things go wrong. Russell has developed a bit of a reputation for always somehow ending up in incidents where, according to George, it's never really George's fault. If there's chaos in turn 1, odds are he'll be on the radio explaining why he was actually the victim of circumstances.
What the f was he doing? Honestly.
Next to him is Kimi Antonelli, Mercedes' teenage wonder kid and proof that Toto Wolff is already planning for the next decade. Antonelli arrived with huge hype, and his rookie season came with the full experience package. Incredible speed one weekend, unexpected spins the next. You could almost see the learning process live on TV. One lap looking like a future champion, the next reminding everyone he's still young. The scary part for the rest of the grid? Even with the rookie mistakes, Antonelli's raw speed is obvious. Once the crashes turn into consistency, Mercedes might have another long-term star on their hands. Mercedes' goal this season should be to stop rebuilding and start winning again. Whether they can actually pull that off remains one of the biggest questions of all time. Red Bull remains one of the most fascinating teams in Formula 1, mostly because the entire operation still feels built around one man, Max Verstappen. From car development to race strategy, everything ultimately asks one question: does this make Max faster? And if the answer is yes, everyone else just has to figure it out. Starting at the top, the team enters a new era with Laurent Mekies taking over leadership duties. Following Christian Horner was never going to be simple. Horner ran Red Bull for so long, he basically was the furniture. New boss, new structure, same pressure, keep winning, or the F1 internet starts writing threads by Monday morning. Red Bull is now building engines with Ford under the new regulations, which is bold. It could be genius, or we could all be reminiscing about the good old times. But let's be honest, as long as Max Verstappen is in the car, Red Bull is dangerous. When Max is on form, he drives like someone accidentally gave him tomorrow's race results in advance. The real chaos, though, is always the second seat. That cockpit has become F1's version of a haunted house. Drivers go in confident and come out wondering what just happened to their careers. Liam Lawson got his chance last year, fans were excited. And then Red Bull hit the reset button again. Yuki Tsunoda also had his run, now it's Isak Hadjar's turn. He may be talented and fast, but history says his biggest opponent will be sharing a garage with Verstappen. Imagine being judged every weekend against someone who treats pole position like a routine chore. At this point, the Red Bull second seat feels less like a promotion and more like a reality TV survival show. Survive next to Max. One bad weekend and Twitter starts replacing you before the race even ends.
Kill that boy!
Still, if the new engine works and management keeps things stable, Red Bull will stay near the front, because when Verstappen has the fastest car, the championship fight often turns into everyone else competing for second place. Supporting Ferrari often feels like an emotional roller coaster that forgot how to back up. No team carries more history or passion, yet championships continue to slip through their fingers in increasingly creative ways. Hope arrives every season, and somehow disappointment follows not long after. Rumors about their competitiveness under the new regulations haven't exactly calmed nerves either. Lewis Hamilton's move to Ferrari was meant to be a dream pairing. Instead, well, we all know what happened. I guess adjusting to a new team, new systems, and different dynamics has been a tough nut to crack for Hamilton. Charles Leclerc remains Ferrari's golden boy. He's loyal to the team and still searching for the championship that seems just out of reach. He often drags strong performances out of difficult situations, but frustration is clearly building. Team boss Fred Vasseur continues to work under intense scrutiny, as Ferrari leadership always does. And until results match expectations, the pressure won't ease. Ferrari always has potential, always has speed somewhere, and always has fans believing. But until consistency arrives, uncertainty will continue to define them. Williams might just be Formula One's slow-burning comeback story. Once a championship giant, they spent years stuck at the back, basically serving as everyone's free overtaking practice. But lately, things are finally turning around. The arrival of James Vowles brought structure and long-term planning to a team that desperately needed direction. For years, Williams looked like they were trying to rebuild a Formula One team with duct tape and hope. Now there's an actual plan, and in F1 that's already half a victory. For the driver lineup, they have Carlos and Alex. Carlos Sainz joins with experience from Ferrari, McLaren, and Renault. Basically, the guy who always shows up, does the job properly, and somehow still gets overshadowed by his teammates' drama. He's known as Smooth Operator, partly because of his calm driving style, and partly because he somehow always lands on his feet no matter how chaotic the team situation gets. Ferrari chaos? Survived. McLaren rebuild? Survived. Now, he's here to help Williams climb back up. Alongside him is Alex Albon, Formula One's unofficial tractor performance specialist. Give him a slow car and he'll somehow wrestle it into Q3. Williams fans have watched him drag cars that had no business scoring points into the top 10. Albon's career arc is also wild. Red Bull dropped him. Everyone thought his F1 story was over. And now he's rebuilt his reputation as one of the grid's most dependable drivers. With Mercedes engines coming back and development finally pointing upward, Williams might actually become a solid midfield team again, instead of just popping up once every few races to surprise everyone. They're not title contenders yet, but for the first time in years, Williams fans aren't just watching for nostalgia, they're watching because something real might be happening. Racing Bulls occupy a very unique position in Formula One. Technically, they're a full F1 team. Practically, they're more like Red Bull's testing lab, finishing school, and emergency replacement storage all rolled into one. If you're a young driver dreaming of a Red Bull seat, this is where you show whether you're the next Max Verstappen or just another name on Helmut Marko's long list of almost. The team has changed names so often over the years that fans sometimes need a timeline chart just to keep track. But regardless of branding, the purpose stays the same: develop talent for the main Red Bull squad. This year, Liam Lawson returns after his brief and chaotic spell in the senior team. Getting promoted only to be quickly shuffled back down isn't exactly confidence boosting. But Lawson now has something many junior drivers lack: real experience at the sharp end. Racing Bulls offers him a chance to rebuild momentum and prove he still deserves a long-term future in Formula One. Alongside him is rookie Arvid Lindblad, stepping into the big leagues with enormous expectations and absolutely no guarantee of success. Some rookies shine instantly, others take time, and some disappear just as quickly as they arrive. Racing Bulls has seen all three outcomes before. The fun part about following this team is never knowing who will still be there next season. Aston Martin feels like one of the most ambitious projects on the grid, driven largely by one man, Lawrence Stroll. When he decided to invest heavily in Formula One, he didn't do things halfway. The team now has infrastructure that rivals the biggest names in the sport. The challenge has been turning that investment into results. On paper, Aston Martin looks strong. They've hired legendary designer Adrian Newey, the engineering mastermind behind multiple championship-winning cars. Then there's Fernando Alonso, still racing at an astonishingly high level despite being one of the most experienced drivers on the grid. By experience, experienced, I mean old as fuck. Alonso's career has been full of incredible performances and unfortunate timing, often joining teams right as their competitiveness fades. Aston Martin fans hope history doesn't repeat itself. On the other side of the garage sits Lance Stroll, Lawrence Stroll's son. Lance has shown flashes of solid performance, but his presence continues to divide opinion among fans, because we all know why he still has a job. Adding another layer of intrigue is Aston Martin's switch to Honda engines. Honda has powered championship-winning teams before, but new partnerships always come with uncertainties. Will everything click immediately? Probably not, but the potential is there. Aston Martin feels like a team on the edge of something big. The only question is whether that big thing is success or another frustrating near miss. Haas has basically become Formula One's unpredictable house guest. Some weekends they show up looking fast, organized, and ready to party. Other weekends, you're asking, are they actually racing or just stress testing spare parts? Over the years, they've delivered surprise performances, strategic head-scratchers, and enough radio drama to fuel Drive to survive for another decade. Consistency might be optional, but entertainment is guaranteed. Their whole philosophy is pure practicality. Why build everything yourself when Ferrari already has the parts? Haas basically has shops at Ferrari's clearance aisle. It saves money, sure, but when Ferrari struggles, Haas gets dragged down to hell. Still, hope is back in the garage thanks to new technical support from Toyota. For a team that usually operates on a tighter budget than some drivers' watch collections, extra resources could finally help them fight consistently in the midfield instead of just surviving it. Driver-wise, Esteban Ocon arrives with experience and a reputation for racing like every position is personal. If there's a gap, he's going for it, even if that gap belongs to his teammate. Just ask Alonso, or Gasly, or, well, a few people. Alongside him is Oliver Bearman, one of the brightest young prospects on the grid. After impressive substitute appearances, he finally gets a full-time seat. Most people see Haas as his stepping stone before a big team eventually calls. Audi entering Formula One is huge. A proper manufacturer stepping in with serious ambition. Instead of starting from zero, they've taken over Sauber, meaning they inherit the factory, the staff, and unfortunately, recent memories of fighting at the back. Last season showed small improvements, but turning a midfield team into a title contender takes more than slapping 4 rings on a car. Audi's mission now is turning potential into performance. Behind the scenes, experienced leadership like Jonathan Wheatley is helping guide the rebuild. Organization and patience will matter because F1 history shows throwing money alone doesn't magically produce podiums. Just ask a few teams with very expensive disappointment. On track, Nico Hülkenberg brings experience, consistency, and Formula One's longest running, still no podium storyline. Thankfully, the streak ended last year. Alongside him is Gabriel Bortoleto, a rising young talent stepping into the big league. Pressure? Yes. Opportunity? Also yes. Audi will hope he grows into their future star while the team builds itself up. The excitement from Audi comes from long-term belief. They've won pretty much everywhere else in motorsport. Le Mans, Rally, touring cars, so everyone assumes success will come. The only question is, how long F1 makes them suffer first? Alpine's last few seasons have been a bit like watching your favorite band from the 2000s try to make a comeback. Once a title contender under its Renault identity, the team now feels like it's stuck in a loop of management swaps. And, well, maybe next year performances. Enter Flavio Briatore, back to stir the pot again. Whether it works is anyone's guess, but hey, at least it makes the drama interesting. On the track, Pierre Gasly is that friend who's reliably good at Mario Kart, even if the controller keeps glitching. He squeezes every ounce of performance out of whatever Alpine puts under him. Joining him is Franco Colapinto, a young driver whose style is fun, daring, and occasionally oops, making him one of the most unpredictable drivers to watch. Now with Mercedes engines, Alpine theoretically has the hardware to climb back up. Fans are cautiously hopeful, but let's face it, optimism comes with a seatbelt. For now, Alpine is very much one of F1's big wait-and-see teams. Cadillac is the new kid on the F1 playground, showing up with shiny new shoes and a lot of ambition. As with most rookies, the first lap or two are likely to involve spinning in the sandpit, metaphorically speaking. The start might be at the back of the pack, but every F1 dynasty had humble beginnings. Guiding this American experience is Graham Loden, a seasoned veteran who knows that building a team from scratch is more like assembling IKEA furniture than magic. Their drivers are a fun mix. Valtteri Bottas and Sergio Perez come in with plenty of experience and a little prove them wrong fire. The Cadillac team might not be challenging for wins immediately, but their debut is full of potential. Formula One is getting a big makeover in 2026, and it's one of the biggest rule changes the sport has seen in years. But don't worry, you don't need an engineering degree to understand what's changing. Let's break it down in simple, friendly terms. First, the cars themselves will look a bit different. They'll be smaller, lighter, and narrower. Think of them as going on a fitness plan, trimming down to become quicker and easier to handle. Smaller cars should also make racing closer and more exciting, because drivers will have more room to battle on track. The wings, which help stick the cars to the road, are also being simplified, but the coolest change is something called active aerodynamics. Basically, parts of the wing can move. In corners, the wings stay in a position that gives the car lots of grip. On straight sections, the wings open up to reduce air resistance so cars can go faster. Faster straights mean longer braking zones, and that usually leads to more overtaking. Another big goal is making it easier for cars to follow each other. Right now, cars create messy air behind them, making it hard for the car behind to stay close. The new rules clean up this airflow so drivers can chase each other more closely, especially through corners. This means we may be looking at a season full of romance with drivers kissing all through. The floors underneath the cars are also changing. They'll create less downforce than before, which means cars won't stick to the road quite as much. This makes them trickier to drive, putting more emphasis on driver skill. Drivers also get more toys to play with. Forget the old DRS flap. In 2026, they'll have boost and overtake modes. Press a button and the car gets extra electric oomph to attack or defend, depending on whether you're feeling aggressive or just trying not to be last. But beware, every push drains the battery, so managing energy becomes a mini strategy game inside the race. It's like chess at 200 miles per hour. Engines are getting a major glow up too. Hybrid power is still the name of the game, but electric motors are stepping into the spotlight almost equally with fuel engines. Safety is leveling up as well. The driver's cockpit is stronger, crash structures are better at absorbing hits, and extra lights make sure nobody drives blind in terrible weather. And speaking of drivers, it's time to rank every F1 driver lineup from bottom to top. We don't know which team will have the fastest car yet, but one thing we can judge already is the strength of each team's driver pairing. Someone has to be last, and that's Racing Bulls. Liam Lawson flashes talent, but not often enough. And rookie Arvid Lindblad is still figuring out where the brakes are. Next up, Alpine. Pierre Gasly is basically carrying a backpack full of bricks, called Franco Colapinto. Strong solo, shaky duo. Cadillac leans on veterans Perez and Bottas, who know their way around a car but might be a step past their peak. Audi has Hulkenberg's consistency and Bortoletto's rookie excitement, but neither is stealing headlines weekly. Aston Martin, Alonso is magic. Stroll is not. Haas mixes Behrman's rookie speed with Ocon's clever racecraft for a dependable, if unspectacular, pairing. Ferrari is Leclerc brilliance plus Hamilton trying to find his rhythm. Williams surprised with Sainz and Albon hitting points late in the season. Mercedes has Russell at his peak, and Antonelli still learning. Up top, Red Bull is Max Verstappen with rookie Hadjar. Exciting, but tricky under Max's shadow. And finally, McLaren. Norris and Piastri, the perfectly balanced duo, basically the Avengers of F1 right now. So there you have it, guys, all you need to know ahead of 2026. I won't be making any predictions, but if you want to know everything wrong with every F1 team, click the link on your screen.